it's a pretty good indication that you're not very lost. Okay? You know, if you can kind of think your way out of it, it means you're not too lost to begin with. You know, the problem with the pep talks, I find, it's kind of like those high school halftime, you know, those locker room pep talks. You know, your team is down 53-7, right? And you come into halftime and everybody's, you know, pretty depressed, and then the coach comes out and he gives you one of these inspiring talks, you know, when the going gets rough, the tough get going, and you know, get out there and just give it your best, and everybody, you know, slams on their shoulder pads, puts their helmets on, runs out, you know, hoorah, and then there's always going to be somebody sitting in the locker room saying, but it's 53-7. You know, it's like, it doesn't quite work, right? It's a very difficult thing to just think your way out. When you're really lost, it's not easy. So the question is, and this is what I want to talk about today, is, so we create our reality. We don't have this kind of control. So how does knowing this helpful to us? If I go up and I go down because, you know, life goes on inside of my head, inside of my heart, and I have got no control, okay, that's good to know. But it's sort of like me telling you, you know, you're in a car, you're going down a hill, and by the way, you can't steer. Thanks a lot. Wonderful. So how is it helpful for me to know? And I'm suggesting that it is powerfully helpful that, I mentioned last week, it says not only is it a tremendous kindness in Pirkei Avos, it's a tremendous kindness that we were created with free will, but even greater kindness that we were told that we have free will. God told us. Knowing really what it means to have free creativity that we have as human beings is a very powerful thing. How is it powerful? Why is it powerful? If I can't steer my way through life. Okay, that's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about what is it that we can do. But I want to make it clear that once again, I'm not here to give you techniques and to give you complicated ideas. I'm here to once again talk about how life happens, and in the hopes that you will kind of have a little bit of a different direction to look in. That's all. And you'll see more about this when we talk. I'm not here to really give you techniques. I'm not here to say, here's what to do and your life will go well. What I believe is when we shift our understanding and our vision a little bit, that when we see life from a little bit of a deeper place, it's a very powerful thing. And I speak about this from first-hand experience. The things that I'm talking to you about tonight, I'm only talking about them because they've been very helpful for me, personally. Okay? And it's not about do this, don't do this. It's much more about having a deeper perspective on how we go through life. That's really the topic of not only tonight, but the next week as well. Really, it's two sides of the same coin, but two sides of that coin. Okay. So, we have a tremendous capacity, I mentioned this last week, a tremendous capacity for creating illusion, right? Our Talmud teaches us this. Talmud says, Ein adam chota, ela im ken nichnas barashtus. This was what my rabbi used to go around saying all the time. My rabbi, he had like his own personal Pirkei Avos, right? The thing he used to always say. This was one of the things he always said. I never quite got it, why he always said this. I always thought, you know, don't worry, be happy was probably more appropriate. He would always say, right, a person doesn't choteh, doesn't miss the mark, except for ruach shtus, temporary insanity. And what he was certainly pointing out, or what I was getting from that was, we have a tremendous capacity for temporary insanity. We can create, and this is what we talked about last week as well, we can create a world, certainly a world where God doesn't exist. Right? We can create a godless world. And that's the power that we have. And that's a tremendous power when you consider the fact that he's infinite and fills the entire universe. So certainly if we can create that kind of world, we can create a world with a lot of other illusion as well. Okay? We can create tremendous, tremendous nonsense. And we have the ability to make it look real. By the way, this is, of course, what faculty within us is what enables us to do this. What does our tradition teach us? Which part of us has a job to do this? The Yetzer Hara. This is the Yetzer Hara. If you want to ask, if anybody asks you, what is the Yetzer Hara's job description? What would you say? What's the Yetzer Hara's job description?
Make you not
What's that?
You cannot see how things really are.
That's right. That's right. The Yetzer Hara essentially has the power to get us to look at completely non-viable nonsense, absolute, utter illusion, and to make it look incredibly, not only real, but good. Okay? In other words, you have within you your own personal Madison Avenue PR firm. Okay? That's the Yetzer Hara's job description. Very powerful thing. Now, the question is, here's the question. We also have another piece to us, and that is, in essence, we have a soul. Every human being has a soul. Now, what do we know about that soul? What do we know about the soul of a human being?
Part of Hashem. It's eternal.
It's eternal, it's part of Hashem, it's a chelik Elokai Mimah, we say. It's literally a piece of God from above, okay, inside of a human being. How powerful is that soul? Unbelievably powerful, okay? Unbelievably powerful. Now, I didn't quite get this until I started to learn a little bit more about this whole approach to life. But when I did, I looked back at the Gemara, the Talmud that my rabbi used to quote all the time, and I saw that there was really something far more profound in that quote than I realized. Ein adam chota ela in kein nichnas baruch. Because a person doesn't miss the mark except for temporary insanity. I always thought, okay, it's teaching us we have a tremendous capacity for temporary insanity. The truth of the matter is it's teaching us something far more powerful than that, far more profound than that, which is Ein adam chota ela in kein. What does that mean? A person does not miss the mark, but for that. What is that saying about us? What is it saying about us as human beings? What's that?
They were basically good.
We are not only basically, we are basically good, absolutely, absolutely, but even more than that.
Powerful.
Powerful, even more than that. Ein adam chota. What does chota mean? Miss the mark.
We're perfect. I mean, except for the temporary insanity, we're created perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We have an ability to be dead on. In other words, we have GPS. That's what it's saying. We are dead on. There's a piece of every human being that is absolutely dead on. It's a profound statement that the rabbis are saying. Okay? Not only do we certainly want to be good. There's no question about that. We know this, by the way. We know that it's the essence of a person to want to do the right thing. As a matter of fact, it has implications in halacha. We know, for example, normally a human being is not allowed. You're not allowed to divorce. A man is not allowed to be forced to divorce a woman in Jewish law. You can't force him to do it. He has to do it with his ratzon, with his desire. But we have a law that you can actually basically make him an offer he can't refuse. You can go up to him and force him. Speak his speak language he can understand. And until he says rotza ani, until he says I'd like to give the get, and then he gives the get, and it's a kosher get. What do you mean? He has to do it with his ratzon. He has to do it with his desire. You just give him a little bit of encouragement. How is that his desire? So what does the Talmud answer?
That's what his soul wants.
It's what he wants. That's right. You're just getting him to do what he really wants deep down. I'm not just saying this is a joke, though. I'm not saying this is a joke. They mean it. This is spiritual physics we're talking about here. The get doesn't take place unless he really wants to. He has to really want to. So he does. He does really want to. The fact that you had to force him, you're just getting him past his objection. But he really, really wants to. Human beings want to be good. We have our essence, a tremendous desire to be good. Nobody wakes up in the morning saying, I think I'm going to be a pain in everybody's tuchus, right? Nobody does that. They're trying, we are trying the best we can. But not only are we trying the best we can, but we have tremendous clarity, we have tremendous resources, tremendous wisdom inside of every human being. How does that sound to people? You're all thinking, I know somebody doesn't. Right? And by the way, we're going to talk more about this, but this is a very, very, not only powerful, but I believe extremely important awareness to have about people. Right? Now we can definitely get very confused, but we have